Hi, what up guys? We're back at it with some BeamNG.drive, and in today's video we're going to be taking a little bit of a deeper look here at the SP Dunekicker. Now this one, just like the SP Rock Basher, only has 3 variations here. So we have the Stadium variation here. I don't know why there's a Stadium 2 if there's no Stadium 1. That's a little interesting. I imagine is more so of like an actual stadium style racing one. So this one is probably more so for like asphalt racing than dirt racing. And then we have the Desert Unlimited TT1. It's got the big block V8. It's basically just a screaming monster of a desert truck. And then for some reason the TT2 spec is actually a less capable version of the TT1. So the TT1 Unlimited is going to be your fastest, craziest one that you have by default. And then the TT2 is described as the Ultimate Truck's little brother. So it's almost the same setup. It has a weaker engine and some slightly different parts on it, it looks like, as well. But anyways, we're going to start with the ST2 Stadium truck just because it is the lowest ranking official here, right? Oh, there we go. That's the exhaust. So yeah, I have no clue what that is in the back. What if that was just like a rocket booster? So anyways, though, this is like, I guess, like the base model, like trophy truck. More like a stadium truck, I guess, than a trophy truck. Suspension still seems really good. See, my favorite part about this vehicle is just the fact that it has probably the best suspension of any vehicle in this entire game. Like, maybe you can tune some suspension to be just as good, but like, I don't know. This is a really well-tuned off-road suspension. It really just butters up every bump and jump, and it's amazing. I mean, that's good, bro. I mean, it looks aesthetically pleasing. And it feels aesthetically pleasing. So my only issue with the Dune Basher here, and I didn't actually notice this in the first video that I made on these guys, it's actually only a 2-wheel drive vehicle. It is not all-wheel drive, which I guess makes sense. Stadium trucks tend to be rear-wheel drive. But just seeing as how it's like an off-road Dune Basher type of deal, I was really hoping that there would at least be an option for 4x4. So it's a little bit of a disappointment that that's not a thing. But, man, this thing handles really well. I'd say, because I haven't actually driven this one yet. I've only driven really like the Unlimited and the TT2. But I have to say, this one is probably the most balanced as far as like handling goes. Maybe it's just because it's not so overpowered that it's like all over the place, you know? It's got like just the right amount of power. This, to me, it feels like it has like the exact amount of power that it needs. The other ones are like overpowered in my opinion. And I even made an even more overpowered version of which we'll also be checking out. But yeah, this is pretty decent. This one definitely has a really nice feel to it, just like driving in general. I mean, as far as like drifting and sliding and all that goes, really well. Works really well for all that. So here we go. You see how it does, and it's like, I don't know, calling this its natural habitat is a little but you know, let's see how it does. It loves high speed, that's for sure. I mean, look at that. It's almost like there's not even bumps there. It's like it almost looks like it's part of like the roll cage. But it's fucking not. It's a hose, and for some reason the hose goes this way. It goes up the frame, the tubing frame this way. It goes up the tubing frame this way, bends around, comes back down, and goes down here. And then fucking what? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this shit? I wonder if that's literally just a tire divider. Like, what the fuck is that thing? If anybody knows enough about stadium trucks to tell me what that is, by all means, tell me what that is, because I'm fucking confused, bro. I'm not gonna lie, this like almost feels like slower off the line for some reason. You know what it is? This is probably way heavier. I'd have to look at the weights next time around, but I think this one's just like heavier or something. It feels heavier. You can see it feels, I mean, it's hard for you guys to feel it because you're not driving, but it feels and looks a little bit more clunky going around the track, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Still like the same old truck as far as like hitting these jumps and bumps goes. Like, eats that shit up, no problem. But I don't know, it's like, it feels a lot more weighty, a lot less like nimble and responsive as far as like steering goes. And it feels a lot less like controllable as far as like drifting and rolling goes, you know? Like, it feels like it wants to roll more than it wants to drift, and that's kind of the problem you start to run into. It could just be the suspension, too. These might just have, like, way softer suspension. And, like, the stadium trucks, since they're mostly, like, asphalt racers, they might have stiffer suspension, and possibly that's why they feel a little bit more responsive. Oof. Oof. That was a good one. So, yeah, interesting, I guess, but I want to check out the weights first real quick, and then I also want to just hop into the faster version of that thing. So what do we got? 5,300 pounds for the stadium. 5,800 pounds for this guy. So this is like 500 pounds heavier than the stadium truck. And then this guy is like 700 pounds heavier. So this guy is faster, but it's also even heavier. See, this thing obviously has a lot more like off-the-line power. It like wants to do wheelies, basically. And this one, ooh, yeah, it's definitely got more speed for sure. Oof. Oof. This one likes to swing the back end around a lot more just because of all that extra power. But the drifting is nowhere near as controllable as that stadium truck is. I definitely prefer this one to the TT2 just because, like, even though it has the extra weight, this one actually has the power to make up for it. I feel like the TT2 just doesn't quite make up for its weight. But again, this one also feels like really clunky and heavy when you drive it. It definitely does not feel anywhere as nimble as the original one does. All of these actually have the wheel ballast, which is an interesting thing to have on a trophy truck, honestly, because these aren't crawlers. Like, typically, tire ballast is something you would only have on, like, a crawler type of vehicle. And these are absolutely not a crawler type of vehicle. However, it does lower the center of gravity, which should help with sliding and, of course, not rolling over, right? But 100 kilograms front and back is a lot of weight. I mean, I just added essentially another 500 pounds to my vehicle. So I went from being 6,000 pounds to 6,500 pounds, which is ridiculous. It's all unsprung weight, which helps, but, you know. Doesn't help the whole, this thing feels way too heavy thing, so there is that. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't as buttery of a landing as I've witnessed previously. Alright, so real quick, what I want to do, I have a pre-made version of this. I call it the TT3 Ultimate, and we're gonna load into this guy. So this is essentially like the ultimate screamer version of this thing. We've got the turbocharger system in this. We've gotten rid of the rear panels because we've gotten some bigger wheels added to this bad boy. So we got 44s in the back, 42s in the front, crawler tires instead of the grip all screamers. Obviously we removed those side panels because the wheels are too big. Oh, I think I made it direct drive too. This thing has so much power that, like, even the lowest gear ratio is like too high, so I had to just do straight up direct drive, which is terrifying to think about. But yeah, this thing is an absolute screamer. Oh, and then of course the tire ballast, for sure. Gotta have that. Whew. That was a smack. Oof. Shoosh. Oh god. Ooh, that was not a clean landing. Oof, oof. It didn't like that. So yeah, this thing honestly has like too much power now. It's like a little bit on the ridiculous side. Not even a little bit, it's a lot of it on the ridiculous side. You gotta remember to like floor it after these jumps, so you have like a little bit more like, you know, nose up attitude there. Like you wanna be like half flooring it and then like floor it as soon as you get to the jump, basically. And that'll help like bring the front end up a little bit when you're jumping. Oh yeah, see that's a good one right there. Oh, wow. Oh, we were like either on 2 wheels or 3 wheels there for that last part of the turn. That was crazy. Oh god. See if we can squeeze on through. Oh god, oh god. So yeah, this thing is called the Desert Unlimited, so we might as well take this thing to the desert, right? So this is where the problem starts to show up, is like, you'll start going sideways like that, and there's almost no saving it once you go sideways, especially out here in the sand. Like, you need a little bit of front drive just so you can, like, pull the front end around, but it's just not possible in this car, and it pisses me off. We're gonna hit one of these little trails here. These things are actually kind of fun. I like these little trails here. I swear, this is almost meant for, like, a Jeep, not a trophy truck. This is like on the borderline of what these things are supposed to be doing. This is a little bit on the crawly side of things. Honestly, I almost want to take these tires off the back. I feel like half of what I'm dealing with is that extra weight swinging around in the back. And I feel like that is carrying like extra momentum when the rear end swings out and is like exacerbating the issue. Because I noticed that that was one of the major differences between the stadium truck and these desert racers, is that the stadium trucks don't have the spare wheels in the back, so that could have a lot to do with the handling, honestly. The spare tires aren't like a huge amount of weight or anything, but where they are placed, which is quite literally behind the fucking axle, like not even just behind the axle, but like way out behind the axle, I mean that's not helping anything at all. See, I'm gonna try that. We're gonna get rid of those wheels and see if that helps us at all. All right, now let's see how this thing behaves. Not a whole lot different, but it feels a little less weighty in the back. I don't know. It makes the thing like look shorter too, which is interesting. I gotta say though, like having some four-wheel drive here would just make all the difference in the world. The amount of power you can put into this truck is completely fucking wasted because it's just a rear-wheel drive truck. So it's like, what are you gonna do with all that fucking power? Like, quite literally nothing? Like, quite literally nothing. But yeah, it's like all this extra power is completely wasted because it's not going anywhere. It's going to these rear wheels, which definitely cannot handle any more power. Like, we need some of that to the front, bro. Man, it sure does take a lot of effort to keep this thing straight, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, this is the turn I was thinking of. This one will get you. You gotta slow down for this one, otherwise it'll bounce you right into these little rocks. Oh, see? 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 What did I tell you? God, this is so fucking bouncy. Holy shit. How do you even carry momentum on this track? Jesus. We are doing like almost 60 miles an hour though, so I mean, it's something. Ho ho ho, no ho ho. That was a good one. Ooh, look at that. Hitting some of these whoops though. Like you're actually supposed to. Some of these whoops I'm hitting clean. Ooh, that was close. The fuck is this? Oh, I know where we are. Now this is definitely more of like a rock crawl than a desert race. Did I fuck up that wheel already? Oh, I see what happened. Oh, that's not good. Boink. That'll work. Uh-oh, see, this is where it gets a little weird. Might as well see what the crawling capabilities of this rear-wheel drive disaster is. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of fucking crawls. Come on, come on. You really do just gotta like scream up the thing. It's, although to be fair, I don't really have these things aired down by any means. This is a little bit ridiculous. This is not what you're supposed to do with these trucks. It's kind of working though, I'm not gonna lie. This thing is doing a lot better than I would expect out of a rear-wheel drive with aired up tires. This thing hates turning though, I gotta say. Get this thing out in its natural habitat, you know what I'm saying? Let's put in a realistic mode too, why not? Oof. Why not? God, these things are good at rolling. It's ridiculous. And nope, you never make it back onto your feet. You never do. I think that must be like a glitch in this game. Like, I swear to God, like, you could take 10, 100,000, million, billion fucking rollover crashes in this game, and every single fucking goddamn one of them would end up on the roof. You would never fucking land on your wheels on a single one of those million fucking crashes, and it's ridiculous. Like, could you turn these guys into weeble wobbles or something? I don't want to see them fall down. Yeah, this thing kind of shreddy biscuities, though, I'm not gonna lie. And then it starts going, like, sideways, and it's like, you know, we're gonna turn the complete opposite direction of the direction that we're turning. And that's the shit I just don't buy. Like, you could be hard steering left, and it's like, you want to keep going right? You want to keep going right? You're like, you'll turn this way, and it's like, we're gonna do a complete 360 in the opposite direction, because logic. With how I'm in, like, third gear, and I can still rip it. Like, you don't even need first and second gear. That's how much power this thing has. So when I'm like, oh, you know, this thing needs front-wheel drive. I mean, like, it actually needs front-wheel drive, because you can have this thing on its tallest gear ratio and its highest gear, and it'll still do burnouts off the line. Like, this thing needs more power delivery. Not more power, but more power delivery. We need 2 extra wheels to be delivering power here, and it's not happening. So I'm not gonna lie, like, this is the worst place for a gas tank. Like, I've never had, like, gas tanks rupture and catch on fire, really. Like, of course it's happened, but, like, it's a pretty rare occurrence in BeamNG for any gas tank to just rupture and fucking explode. It does happen, but it's way harder to do than you would think. Like, you could fucking roll off a goddamn fucking mountain, and you'd still be able to drive the car in half of the cases, and the gas tank would still be full of gas. This thing, you hit a fucking bump wrong, and you fucking, you break a hole in the fucking gas tank and the whole truck catches on fire. It's like, bro, why did you put the gas tank there then? Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. It's definitely a monster. I mean, it just eats stuff up like butter, which is the just like the way this thing eats up bumps and stuff is super aesthetically pleasing. It's one of those cars that's like almost more, wow, see shit like that, like what the fuck? It's one of those cars that's like almost more fun to look at from the side, just so you can watch the suspension like do its thing. Like, I mean, this suspension is a master at its craft. Look at it just go to work. You know what I'm saying? That is absolute beautacious beauty right there. No other vehicle in BeamNG.drive is quite as beautiful suspension-wise as these stadium trucks are. These are amazing. The Dune Basher is great. Again, I would love to see four-wheel drive on this thing, even if it's just like a little bit of like a silly little thing to add. Like, even if it like doesn't really make sense in the context of a stadium truck, like throwing it in there as an option that you can just like attach to the vehicle if you want would be super fucking awesome. I'd love to see a 4x4 stadium truck, because why not? But anyways, I think that's probably about it for this video, though. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It definitely helps me out. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you want to check out any more of this content, or any of my other gaming content for that matter. And of course, as always, for as little as 99 cents a month, you become a channel member, help support this channel monetarily, help me pay some bills around here, that sort of thing. Yeah, that being said, I've been Plock the Master Gamer with some BeamNG.drive, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.